Hey everyone, thanks for watching this course preview of Freeman Park for the Snake River Championship here in Idaho Falls. Turning it over to Cooper for hole 1.
Thanks, Coy. We start with hole 1, a pretty tricky hole to get your round started. You can either go with the forehand or with the backhand. The real trick is trying to get your drive to land under the trees so you have a real putt, or else you'll have a really low ceiling putt to try to get your birdie.
Hole 2 is going to be a very long par 4 at 788 feet. Your first shot, you're really trying to avoid all the pine trees on the right and left to land yourself somewhere in here in the middle for an open second shot. We do have an OB line left as well as that Mando right of that pine tree to keep us from going into the baseball field. If you can get somewhere down here, even all the way up to the basket for your second shot, that'd be incredible. Birdie is going to be hard to come by. Par here is fantastic.
Moving on to hole 3, you just had to throw some power shots on hole 2, and hole 3 really requires more control and technicality. You want to get to this landing zone and make sure you go left of that telephone pole, and then you have to throw some sort of tricky shot above this pavilion and inside that tree on the left in order to get into this guarded green.
Hole 4 was one of the hardest holes on the course last year. We have made some slight changes to OB lines to make it a little bit more friendly. You want to land your drive somewhere around here to set yourself up for a backhand under the willow tree or a forehand around the willow tree to end up in this very tight green.
Hole 5 is the biggest change to our layout from last year. What once was a par 3 is now a par 4. The tree to your left is a Mando right in order to keep you out of the fairway of hole 6. This hole really only requires 2 controlled shots to get to the basket. The path on the right and beyond is OB and is really the thing that'll cause people to take high numbers on this hole.
After all those tough par 4s that you just played, hole 6 is going to feel like a must-get birdie. Most players are going to throw a forehand hyzer or a backhand turnover to get this hole.
Hole 7 is yet another very treacherous par 4. The key is staying inbounds the entire time. The road on the right is OB and beyond, and so is the path on the left. You'll want to get to this landing zone to then navigate a lot of small trees and obstacles in order to get to the putting green, which is here beyond the path and close to the river.
Hole 8 provides a wide variety of tee shots. Whether you see somebody go with a backhand hyzer, a backhand turnover, a forehand roller, whatever it is, ultimately your goal is to land somewhere up here in the middle of the fairway. Now you can either then choose to lay up short of the road here or take the shot through the tunnel of these 2 pine trees to set yourself up for a birdie or a par look here on hole 8.
Hole 9, this is a really tough to get par 3, 458 feet downhill, a lot of trees and branches to avoid. The only OB to really worry about is going long in the road and beyond. Good luck trying to get this one.
Hole 10 here is one of the easiest holes on the course, though it does have its challenges. You're going uphill with a lot of trees to contend with. Most players are going to be throwing something like a putter or a mid-range to get the birdie.
Hole 11, this is a signature hole on the course here at Freeman. This is just a little 220-foot shot into this very guarded grove.
Hole 12 is going to be a tough downhill tunnel shot through all of these trees. Be careful about fading out early as you can go over the road, or if you turn it over, you're going to go over the path. This would be a great hole to get a birdie on. Par is not bad.
All right, guys, hole 13 is a doozy. This is a round wrecker. It is a par 5 in which you have to navigate the natural slope of this hill. You have to go left of that telephone pole we just passed to keep you in the fairway. And then you have to navigate whatever risk assessment you need to in order to approach this very tight, very skinny peninsula green. The real mistake here is throwing over and over again and never coming back in bounds across the road.
Hole 14 is going to be a pretty tough par 4. The awkward angle from the trees makes you either throw some sort of a flex forehand, a backhand hyzer, big backhand turnover, anything to get you somewhere around this hill. If you're at the bottom of the hill, you're going to be okay. But if you can make it all the way to the top of the hill, you're going to be sitting great. There is an OB line on the left side of the fairway that you should be aware of. The basket sits all the way up here at the top of the hill underneath these big pine trees.
Hole 15 is a bomber's paradise. We've taken the normal tee pad, which you see right there, and we moved it back a significant amount. The goal here is to get maximum distance on your drive while avoiding these larger trees. Landing anywhere in this open space is a great tee shot. You then have to throw a more controlled power shot in order to get to the basket. Keep in mind the basket does reside close to the road here, which is OB.
Hole 16 is one of the easier holes on the course. Most players are going to take this forehand skip shot off of the road, though there is a backhand hyzer route available. You just have these big guardian trees here at the end.
Hole 17 is also one of the few holes we left intact from the normal Freeman layout. This is a very difficult and specific low penetrating tee shot in order to get under these pine trees if you want any shot at getting a birdie here.
Finally, hole 18, we do have a Mando left of that tree to keep you from going over the road in the parking lot. Most players will be throwing a forehand out and around or a backhand turnover, but a pretty simple hole to finish this very tough Freeman Park course.